All right, welcome back to the throne room.
Hey.
It's your host, Alex King. We got Austin Hotchkiss, and we got Josh Pink.
Howdy.
Back on Late Night Talks Part 3.
The trilogy no one asked for.
The best trilogy known to man, let me tell you. How are you since we've last talked?
A week older.
Did you have a stroke in between when I asked you that?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember the last time I was here.
It was last Saturday.
Right.
Yes, you'd be right.
Yep. Well, I know.
We went and got what was it, McGriddles.
Oh,
afterwards.
right.
Good.
So
Update.
Update on last week. Go check out last week. We had a very heated debate about fast food restaurants, and we ended up. Yeah. Don't bring the. Oh, God.
Sorry.
We ended up going to McDonald's at like 3, and I got. We ordered 2. I ordered 2 McGriddles, and I ended up getting 3. So shout out to Mickey D's for hitting me up there.
Telling you
it was
what.
delicious.
I didn't get anything, but
no, he didn't. He was just a courier for success.
Being a good boy, you know what I'm saying?
Right. How did that go today?
How did that go today? It didn't. I just kind of
didn't go good.
No, I mean I knew that I was going to just kind of throw that out the window for today.
Right.
Possibly. I mean, it's a thing, you know. You gotta treat yourself every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'll treat you all right.
Every twice in a while.
Right. You know? Mm-hmm. Every thrice in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Or just pulling out our knowledge of...
So, next time you hear the show, we'll be back in full swing football mode. We'll be back with the rest of the Throne Room staff. So, Tune in next week. We're going to try to get some updated equipment. And we're going to be... Season 2 of the Throne Room is back, folks. Okay? Season 2 of the Throne Room is back.
Wow.
Okay, so... One of the big things I wanted to touch on is this whole Epstein thing. And here's why. Because... I don't have any of the facts in front of me. I've heard rumors upon rumors upon rumors. We got Trump talking about this on Twitter. There's no big surprise there. So I don't know what to believe. You make your case, Josh, since you were the one that brought this whole thing up.
There's just a lot behind it that's so sketchy, and I mean it's a lot of facts mixed with you can never really tell what you're getting sometimes, so you have to find the facts in. Or, decipher on your own knowledge, no, that's kind of weird. So, I mean, most of you probably know Epstein got released that he was running this whole pedophilia and sex trafficking scandal. A lot of big politicians in it. And suddenly, before he's supposed to testify, he committed suicide. And actually, today or yesterday, I guess, depending on when you're listening to this, they had the official autopsy and they ruled it suicide by hanging with a broken neck. And they've been looking into it, and it's pretty difficult to break your neck by hanging in this small, confined room.
Yeah.
Now, the other sketchy part is that...
also, one thing I heard is that the one particular bone that broke was most commonly found in homicide, homicide strangulation. So
that goes into it. A lot of people think, well, maybe Epstein was murdered.
Right.
And that stems from the fact that this little sex trafficking, and he had a pedophile island, just for the context of how big and how far this goes, and we'll get into that later. But basically there's a lot of big politicians, big families that Epstein has dirt on, basically, and stems from the Clintons to Trump to even people in British Parliament and the royal family. He all had dirt on them because they were in this little sex trafficking ring and pedophile island. And obviously he's about to go to court. The documents that would show that they had visited Epstein's island or been on these party trips with him would all be leaked and everything. And suddenly he just up and commits suicide. Now, the part that started all the conspiracy was that somehow magically, at the time of his suicide, all the camera footage in his cell and around his cell just cut out for that period where he was committing suicide.
Yeah.
And there's been reports, there's a few images from security cameras around the prison of these government type vans and SUVs parked around, not after the death was leaked, but during the time of his death, when all the camera footage cut out. So people are government hit squad to take down Epstein.
Yeah.
And he'd been on suicide watch for a few weeks by then, and really he was in prison, but it was like that kind of resort prison, rich people, like for rich people crimes. They end up
with
in
the
like,
TVs and like.
and he was getting. They like think he was getting like prostitutes in and out because he had a lot of female visitors.
Yeah,
that would come in and out, not monitored at all. So people were thinking he had like prostitutes coming in and out, just living the life in this prison.
Jeez.
And magically, and people like put this guy on suicide watch because he has dirt on people. So they put him on suicide watch. Then magically, he's taken off of it. Without, like, typically you have to go through all this big, long process to show, like, you're not going to kill yourself or something. Yeah.
And they have to go in, like, every 3 hours or something,
yeah,
right?
They take him off of it, so there's not a stingy, like, watching of him.
When was he arrested again?
I don't remember how, like, when he got arrested for it. I just started, like, paying attention to it once this whole conspiracy thing popped up, because that's what got me interested in it. But So then a few days after getting taken off of the suicide watch, magically he decides now's the time to commit suicide.
Right.
And it's pretty hard. He was still wearing the suicide watch clothing, and if you like know anything about that, people that like have attempted suicide and get put in programs get it. It's just like it's basically wearing like toilet paper so that you can't like hang yourself with your clothing. It's not strong enough to support you.
Yeah.
There's no shoelaces or anything.
Was there even a report of what he like hung himself with?
No, it was just death by hanging, and there's no footage.
So if you're on suicide watch, like what? I mean, I guess your point is like, what would he have hung himself with?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, he got taken off, but it was still like it was.
But if he's still in the clothing,
yeah, he's still wearing that clothes that you can't kill yourself with. There's no
right.
If you've seen a prison cell, solitary confinement, there's no like rope or anything or in there. So many people are starting to believe someone killed him, and a lot. I mean, the first thing people pointed to was the Clintons because they already have conspiracies about them killing people that could have dirt on them. Like a couple people during the presidential elections ended up dead that were able to like testify against Clinton.
Yeah.
One dude, he killed himself by taking a dumbbell to the back of the head or something. It was some weird.
Gosh, man.
It was some weird conditions.
Well, the Clintons have had plenty of conspiracy about them for a long time. So.
But at the same time, and then, I don't know, so like, a lot of people on the left are like, no, it's not the Clintons, it's Trump that offed him, but people on the right are like, no, it's not Trump, it's the left, and people on the right are trying to like, absolve Trump of anything because he said like, I cut off my ties to Epstein in the 90s when he was convicted on child abuse or something like that, but there's videos of him with like, in the 90s and in like the early 2000s with Epstein at these parties, and there's these like, girls that are way younger than them,
right?
Oh my gosh.
Hands all over them.
What
and it's like he like has a quote on him from like 2002 where he's like, Epstein's a fun guy and he has my similar taste for younger women than us. Yeah, so it's
zoinks.
It's on his side, but at the same time, there's not a lot of like some girls said like Trump never made any advances on any of the girls. Even though there's like some video footage of him doing it, but then there's not a lot of like paper document showing his like connection to Epstein. However, when you go to Clinton, there's like flight records over and over again of him going to this pedophile island, which we can get into because this place is pretty screwed up. I don't know if you've seen any memes about it. There's like this like hut. It's like got rows of like blue, white, and it's just this square like a Minecraft house almost.
Yeah.
And so that's like, it leads to like this underground thing where they were having all the pedophilia and sex dungeons and stuff.
Ugh.
And so, but this just shows you how messed up it is. It was like, it was a party for them. Bill Clinton had Epstein hang a painting of him, and it's Bill Clinton wearing a dress, but it's the dress that Monica Lewinsky was wearing.
No way.
That they used in the, you know, I remember how like they had like the DNA on it. It was that blue dress.
Yeah.
It's Bill Clinton wearing that dress, like, pointing a finger, winking
Whoa.
at the viewer.
So gross.
That's hilarious.
And so, but like none of these like girls were like volunteered for this. They like, I don't know if they got like kidnapped or just somehow suckered into it, but they go to this island underage. Yeah, and they're just raped by these politicians.
Oh, that's so gross.
And so like, I mean, you can't like sit and be like, our government's full of rapists, but like obviously there's something up.
Yeah.
But so ever since Epstein died, the case is basically done. Now they're about to start moving forward with some of it. But they were going to shut it down for a while. So it's like, you got to think like our government's willing to like completely ruin the chances of like getting any redemption for these girls,
Right.
just to protect some politicians that like are pedophiles and rapists, and like
Right.
people are thinking like how far this goes. Like there's like possibility that Epstein had connections to people in the FBI and the CIA.
Yeah.
It's like one of the theories is like all the government came together to like end Epstein because they could have like brought down the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's just say that he did bring down the whole thing. They didn't. All of this is theory. But let's say that nobody went out to kill him. And, okay, he says all this stuff. And, yeah, I mean, it looks bad. But really, what would happen? Do you think anything would ever stop?
Yeah. Like worst case scenario would be
Because it's like
worst case would be impeachment. I feel like that's the worst.
But I mean,
case
even then, there's no physical proof of it. It's his word.
Yeah.
He's in a jail cell. He's not. I mean,
Right.
Well, no. What they had was the documents of like all the travels.
well, they those documents don't go
they
away
don't-
when he
they-
died.
They don't like.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. They kind of did.
But they could have just taken away the documents without killing him.
No. They like partially threw out the case too, like because they opened that up and they were about to start investigating all of this and running it through with Epstein.
Yeah.
But now he can't confirm any of it, so it's like, well, now those are useless.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I wouldn't be because these girls are.
But I mean, but like the documents are more. They're more damaging than his word.
Yeah, but
Because anybody can just say.
I think the way
Because he's a criminal
they're
that's been running
seeing
a
it is
sex
like
trafficking ring.
these documents show they were at places with Epstein,
Right.
but being with Epstein isn't a crime in any way.
Yeah.
It's not right to hang out with a awful guy like that. But
It's only a crime once you start
it's not
soliciting or partaking.
It's not a crime to hang out with a guy that does a bunch of drugs where it's not legal, for example.
Right.
And so, but now these girls are supposed to start testifying, some of them, and I don't want to be like that. Oh, they're conspiracy theory blown out of the water, but I wouldn't be surprised if like a few of them get in fatal car crashes or like house broken into,
like
or
Obama's
something
grandma.
Like
I would see that more than because they would be more believable.
that would confirm it for me because like I think you can use like the government. It wouldn't be that hard for a lot of people to believe like autopsy. Autopsy says he killed himself.
You could make them disappear more easily than Epstein.
That is true though. Yeah, they'd be
a lot more eyes are on him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
No
know?
one's unless they get eyes on these people.
Nobody knows. Like, I mean, some people do obviously, but the lay person knows Epstein's name. They don't know these chicks. You know,
Yeah.
these girls. So
Yeah.
that's
Unless
scary.
they did their digging, but
That's scary, dude.
Yeah, but so they're moving forward in a way. They're just these like documents with all the travel plans. So now the like next angle to go against would be to use the testimony of the girls that were involved in it.
Yeah.
But in a way, they like
And if all those stories corroborate each other, man.
yeah. But
That's
some of them are
damaging.
conflicting, like the ones that are like, because like some of them are like, no, Trump's never made any advances on any of the girls, but like they have videos of him at parties like feeling around these like younger girls, and it's like, well, if he's doing that on camera right there,
And that too, like, because you remember in the movie Taken, all those girls are drugged up, dude. Those chicks are drugged, and like that's probably what goes on in real life. They're not gonna just put those people in sober because they're probably less willing to do that sick stuff.
Well, and if they're testifying that
Those are children.
he did nothing, I mean, a lot of them probably have some sort of like threat held against them.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? I mean, a lot of them
or
are
they-
probably
Either that
or they
flash
don't
some
or they
big
don't
cash.
remember it.
Yeah, that
like you're
too.
saying, yeah.
really
probably
the,
both.
The worst part is
Yeah,
like
honestly.
when you think about it, Epstein got away with it. He lived his last few days in basically a personal resort.
And then died.
Yeah.
Got out of it. Well, jeez.
You know, it's not. So that's for the most part. I mean, we can't confirm any of it just sitting here. But you know what isn't? You know what isn't a theory? It's like real.
What?
Have you seen, or have you heard of the Bohemian Grove?
I
I
know
don't
that
think I
name.
have.
You're kidding.
I know the name. I'm trying to remember what the event is.
So speaking of Alex Jones,
Oh boy,
back
here
in
we
the
go.
early 2000s,